So here we are in Pampas Railroads, and played a couple more actions. Hey, one great thing, I've got the air conditioning off finally. It's good to not be a slave of that. You know, it's probably about 100 degrees, but it's nice and cool, you know. Nah, I think it's in the 90s, low 90s probably. Okay, so this guy was faced with the situation of, gee, I don't have the most money. What am I going to do? He improves the West's income by building a mine. That's a big improvement, $4 improvement by doing a mine with a improvement action. This guy, who does have the money, I think he's got the most, I'm not sure, says, I've got the best stock holdings. I see no reason to create money, to try to push out more stock, and builds track. And he increases his Pacifico track. He slid over here and here for 15 bucks of the Pacifico's money. That helps him more than anyone. This guy is again in that same stuck position, and I think this is one of the problems perhaps with the game, which is if you do not have the most money, it's really tough to bring a stock out. Now, we saw somebody with the Cordoba manage to get away with that. So, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, you could bring out a secondary stock. You're not going to bring out one of the big hitters. So in this case, who's the top value? Certainly not the Norte. Yeah, the Norte is the top valued stock out there in terms of income potential. Maybe not in terms of total value, but we're not far enough into the game for total value to be absolutely vital. Does he want to run that? You know, does he want to try to buy a share of it? If he, chances are he won't get that. Chances are someone who has more money will end up outbidding him, putting the money into it, and then, like with this guy, 3 shares of it. Boom. Ugly. Okay. What if he puts out a Central or a Sud? Well, even if somebody else buys it, that may not be so bad because somebody else may start developing it, and at least the money will be in it. But on the other hand, if he develops it, someone else may want it. Granted, chances are not at the current stock values. It's just, it's a hard decisions, unlike in 18XX where you can just say, oh yeah, I want that stock. Here, putting a stock up doesn't mean you get it. Anyway, I'm not sure whether or not, I'd say obviously it's not a breaking flaw because people like these games, and I like it, but I do have worries that it may be really, really hard to come back at all once you start getting behind that 8-ball. Alright. Okay, so the decision was made. A stock round was paid, and oops. Sud was brought up for 34 bucks. The guy who's in the lead grabbed it. Now that leaves him with a lot less money to go for that last share of Norte, but there's somebody with more money than him. Namely, I believe this guy who has 40-something. He decided to pass on that extra share of Norte, get another shareholder there, and basically outbid this guy on the Sud, who had gone to, I don't remember what, 28 or something. He just jumped it up above and said, I want a certificate. I'm not going to get the Norte. Sud is the next best thing. Let's go for it. All right. So now we're over to this guy, and he probably has enough money that he's going to also make a stock trigger and pull that Norte into play. Heavy action on the Cordoba. This fella built track out to here, and then this guy played a increase to improve Tucumán. It's limited by Rosario, though. I don't know if he could do that. He may have to pick a different location. Yeah, Rosario has to have more, so he'll hit anywhere else, really. It doesn't matter. And we're seeing some more some more rail development. The Sud branching out this way, increasing so that its ratings were a little higher. And then the Oeste. The Oeste spent its entire capital, and it has no more money for the game because it has no more shares in reaching one of the off-board map locations. What did that produce? See, here's what's kind of weird. It means there's no more advancement for this rail, but it produced $9 a share, and that went into, this guy made 18 bucks off of it. Everybody else who had a share made 9. It gives some additional capital for the next level of investment. Will that matter? Will it not? I don't know, because it could just mean that this guy's locked out of the next stock purchase, and that one goes for a lot of money. It could also mean that people are more careful with their stock purchases, but there are a limited number of shares left. So it's kind of hard to make that decision. Anyway, getting that free run, granted it depleted the treasury, but the Oeste can still improve using blue cards. Anyway, we got one final card play for the guy owning the Norte and the Cordoba. And he has to decide what he wants to do with it. Clearly, the best for him would be simply to improve this, but there might be other options. Making a run, and they're set up for it with the Cordoba, spending, say, 20 bucks to make a run on the Cordoba, might seem like a good idea, except the Cordoba doesn't produce much. It produces 4 bucks instead of 9. You know? So that's not enough to really sway the value, and it doesn't seem worth pillaging a company's treasury, even though it's a lesser pillaging at this one. Anyway, I'll figure out what he does and then pay out and see what happens. So the decision was a track build down. I think the highest payout was 41, followed by 36 up here, but he got that big 18 additional. This guy, I think, made 28, but he also already had a big $25 bill sitting there because he didn't make a purchase this time. Seeing a lot of money going into some of these, into this next round, but, you know, it's pretty clear the people who are winning. This guy's just, yeah, you can just look at the certificates, the quantity, and see. 5 certificates sitting here. He's doing well, especially since 2 of them are the top ones. Then we go to 4 certificates, but his holdings are a little stronger. Yeah. And a Oeste instead of a Cordoba. That's significantly stronger. And then everyone else seems very weak in terms of what they're holding. So again, I think things are pretty much determined at this point. I got to mark off another one of these, and who fired this one off? We'll give that to the Norte, the Cordoba guy. So the new round opened up with a couple of people in a row playing stock rounds. One got a Cordoba for 37 that he tried to sell. The other one did not. It went for 38 up here. 2 quick stock rounds. There's only one more stock option left. He probably will play for it. Right now, there aren't a lot of certificates left, but there are enough that people are thinking maybe I can get 2 of them at this point. Which is why the prices aren't going a little higher than that. Because right now, the Cordoba is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 30 bucks in cash plus whatever it produces. It's going to make enough money to be worth more than whatever you're paying at this rate, but could you buy something else for less? We'll see. So in the media follow-up, our erstwhile leader bid 44 bucks, all his money, on a Sud. It didn't go. The guy sitting behind him paid 45 for it. Again, this is a company that's only worth 30 bucks. But like the Cordoba, it's sitting on a fair-priced external map location. This is only 25. This one's 20. It's possible that extra run is going to come out. Well, it's going to come out. It's just a question of when. So now we jump up here, and there are no more stock purchases available. I'd have to use an orange card to get one out. And unless you know you're going to get the share, that may be a little painful. Of course, this guy doesn't have anything. Well, he's got his centrals, which he can develop on his own. He'll probably try to do that. Since the leading players don't have any shares of Cordoba, this guy and this guy, there's been sort of this coalition agreement to develop the Cordoba. Now, granted, this guy wants to develop his central, and he improved he did a blue card to improve there. But other people have been trying to, and red also, what the hell did he do? I don't remember. I think he forgot to play. I'm not sure. Because I can't see anything that he did. But we're seeing this definite attempt to develop the Cordoba, and it's getting up there in value before it makes its run. All its shares are out. This guy serves to gain the most by it, but he's kind of convinced the people next to him to play to improve it, because it will help them as well. And that's the end of that sequence around. So it's not absolutely clear in the rules whether or not you can force any company to build track if you have controlling or whatever shares in it. So the way it's worded, it's not obvious to me if this guy, Pacifico, someone else has more, Cordoba, somebody else has more, Oeste and Norte, both, somebody else has more of. The only one he has that isn't is the Sud. I feel like it's a house rule, one way or the other. Can he build track with, could he have pushed the Cordoba out? He certainly could have played a blue card not to, but he didn't want to do that. So I'm ruling that he has to play one of his companies if he can, if he's going to play for track. And so he improved the Sud's track out to Santa Rosa, I believe. Brought it to this guy who worked some more on the Pacifico track. I don't remember where he went with it. I think up to Mendoza. And this guy, I believe, bought himself a bonus there for the just a blue card for getting an advantage on both the Sud and in his central. And this guy got the final card. It was either a white or a blue. Either way, it would have ended things. And he took the choice to improve his Oeste with a blue card, increasing his funds. You see where the funding is here. This is at 13 paying out. This is going to be at 10. And then everyone else kind of falling below. But we see the Cordoba has made some tremendous gains. And has sold out all its shares. Oddly enough, nobody played an orange card. Nobody wanted to pay their whole packet. And that seems like the only reason to force a stock round at this point. Once all the shares are out, I'm sure the orange cards will get used for something. You know, hey, I want to do development or whatever, and I don't want to play a white card. I'll come back with after the payouts, but they're going to be pretty big. Okay, so the highest price was a 45 payout, which, given that some people are under 30, you know, again, there's this steamroller aspect that I don't know how you can beat it. Everybody's going to try and knock him down and try not to hand it to him. But it's a tough game, I think, to make up ground in. Anyway, I'll load this one up. We only got 3 more rounds. We're 2/3 of the way through.